left in the year. Good morning, MV, guiding you through In the Know at K105. On Litchfield's Country Station 1039 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app, using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast. On Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. We will also give you a chance to win a couple of times, including day number 8 of Where's Quacky. That's coming up. That and a whole lot more today. You're on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire. It's my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's me. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
You want to take a crack at the most loyal dog breed? The most loyal dog breed in the world?
A golden retriever.
A golden retriever. Canine experts say Akitas, Akitas, are at the top of the loyalty list, followed by German Shepherds, Labrador Retrievers, Chihuahuas, Chihuahuas, and at the other end of the dog size spectrum, the Great Pyrenees are among the most loyal. But we know golden retrievers are loyal.
Yes.
What would you say? Lucas Terriers on the loyalty schedule. You think on the loyalty scale?
I don't.
Can
I
you
think
tell?
we're still learning.
Too early to tell?
I think we're still learning.
Okay, we'll report back
Yeah.
on the Lucas Terrier breed. Over there in chair number 2, we say good morning and welcome back to Grayson County Extension Ag Agent, Ms. Whitney Carmen. Morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
I'm good for the Wednesday.
You got your UK College of Agriculture.
It's not right.
Because it doesn't say Gatton on it?
No, but I'm not buying new clothes. So.
You're not until they furnish them? Well, looking good. I'm curious to know, still tickets available for the Farm to Table event?
Yeah,
It's a few weeks away.
Yeah, we're working on the menu getting finalized, and we've got a lot of local members, farmers market members that are going to have produce and food in that. And thank you to our sponsors. Nutrient Ag Solutions is our premier sponsor for this, and so they're helping get all of that, paid for so that our FFA group can get the proceeds.
All right, that sounds good. It's the harvest season is going to be here before we know it, isn't it?
Yep, it is.
Yeah, so it's a
Happening fast.
kind of a chapter change for people in your world, and I guess the Farm to Table event will kind of kick off into the harvest season. We'll see beans and corn and all that stuff. Which
September
will start.
is a busy month for the Extension Office.
Yeah, it
I'll
is,
say that.
and you want it to be the ag community wants it to be not completely dry, but you need a lot of dry in September and October to be able to accomplish what you need to
That's
accomplish.
exactly right.
Well, speaking on the weather scale, we're going to get a taste of that autumn period today. Yesterday was nice. The evening was actually a little bit cool last night. And if you were outside, then you probably wanted some sleeves on. The overnight low was down around 63, and we'll get there again this evening. But we're going to see warmer weather building over the weekend with a heat wave taking hold next week. So enjoy. I hope you enjoyed yesterday. I hope you enjoyed today. Friday won't be too bad. Friday is almost picture perfect for a late August day. But then next week we get into the 90s again on Sunday, and until next Friday, looks like we'll be locked up in the 90s. So partly cloudy and 63 overnight tonight, a high of 86 for tomorrow, under mostly sunny skies. Another day, more sadness for our 50th state, for Hawaii, and particularly Maui and the devastation there. We've gone over 100 now in confirmed deaths. And I feel like we're probably just getting started. But one of the things I've noticed, it happened almost like 3 days ago. Remember, this has been going on for over a week. But the news sometimes is slow to get out of the islands because they're so isolated, and that's just one of the pitfalls. It's good that you're isolated and removed, but you also feel isolated sometimes. Like, in our part of the world, we can be to 60% of the United States population in a day's drive from where we live. You're limited where you can go in the state of Hawaii, and particularly on an island. When that tragedy, when people still trying to recover and uncover and find missing people, it doesn't feel natural to immediately start pointing fingers. But in the stages of grief, they have reached the stage of pointing fingers and asking questions, and the point of anger. You go through that devastation and that shock, and then the shock wears off, and Yeah, you're starting to see people being interviewed in the media just with a lot of questions about, a lack of response. And I heard a lady say this morning she had someone show up at the place where she manages and they work. I think it might have been a hotel or a motel or something like that, because she referred to showing up in the lobby. And one of her employees showed up and she said, "The only thing I have to my name is the shirt I'm wearing."
And I'm sure that's correct for a lot of people in that area.
I mean, think about that. Uh, in our case, if we had a fire at our home, or we had a fire here, or it would be devastating. But everything we own is not, and everything we own probably not going to get incinerated in a singular fire. But the way that worked there is, it's a simple statement, and it's not that hard to figure out. But to hear a person say, "The only thing I own is the shirt I'm wearing," and I just can't imagine. I can't imagine being in that position. So prayers for them, and hopefully they'll continue to get the help and the relief they need. One more footnote too: they're frustrated because they've got lockdown. They've got roadblocks and barricades. They said there are people with relief supplies queued up over behind they're not letting them in with the relief supplies where they need to go. So I imagine, I don't know anything about managing disasters, clearly, but it must be frustrating to see the help there, and then it's just kind of sitting there waiting to be put to use.
I wonder if she's got any insight on that.
She's one of the first people I contacted last week, and I was kind of being ha-ha about it. I told her, I said, I think I may have shared this on the air, but I said, if you're getting deployed to Maui, I'm going with you because I know the area and I would be a very good guide. And she said there'd been no lack for people volunteering to deploy within the ARC, but I think every disaster is different. I think no matter how good you are at disasters, I think until you're there, every one of them, they all have commonalities.
Sure.
But then they're each unique in their own, in their own accord. So anyway, it's we're continuing to watch that. Close to home, the headlines today: a Litchfield man accused of committing multiple burglaries and thefts over the last month in Grayson and Breckenridge counties has been captured near Hardinsburg. Sheriff Chafin said deputies have responded to no less than 10 burglaries, thefts, and destruction of private property between July 14 and August 12. The stolen vehicle pursuit was involved. The thefts included stolen vehicles, four-wheelers, UTVs, guns, identity theft, etc. But recently, while in Breckenridge County, 23-year-old Tyler Wayne Corbin fled police by running into a wooded area with a rifle. He was ultimately captured by the Breckenridge County Sheriff Billy Richardson, and he was lodged in the Breck County Jail, where he's he's being housed on more charges than we have time to mention. But you can read about them at K105.com if you like. A Grayson County resident has graduated from the Kentucky State Police Academy and been assigned to the KSP Post 16 in Henderson. Charles Rafferty of Litchfield is one of 51 cadets who was recently graduated from the 24-week training course. He is a member of the Cadet Class 103. They have more than 1,000 hours of classroom and field study. He's been assigned to the post down in Henderson. If you're looking at the photograph, he is in the upper left-hand corner. There are 4 new troopers from that Cadet Class 103 assigned to Post 4 in Elizabethtown that you may see serving in our area. They include Kenneth Anderson and Lucas Jones, both of Louisville, James Grant III of Elizabethtown, and Christopher Johnson of Bloomfield. As a little footnote there, James Grant III, who is from Elizabethtown and signed to Post 4, he was the valedictorian of the Cadet Class 103, so kind of got the cream of the crop there, coming to work on Post 4. The company behind JCPS is going to have one more day tomorrow to get ready for Friday, and then they'll see how they do on Friday, and then they'll take the weekend to regroup, and then try to hit the ground running on Monday. It's now making national news. CBS was in part of their morning news today, where they were on the ground in Louisville talking about the bus company, the bus situation. And there's a headline today from the Associated Press that says the tech company behind the Kentucky school bus problems had similar issues in Ohio last year.
I saw that.
So Ohio took the sales pitch last year and said, "Oh, you got these cool AI things, and you all have a new way of doing this. Fine." Well, they bailed out of the relationship mid-year and went back to the company they were using before to say, "Well, what we had before was at least better than what we've got now."
I still just say, if you're going to have someone that is a worldwide logistics company in your hometown and they offer to help you, take it.
Is there any truth to the rumor that what UPS told them, though, was only turn right? That's true.
Well, I know, they only do make right. I know.
You won't catch brown trucks making mean left turns. But that's one of the logistic principles of.
Yeah.
So I make fun, but it is a sound principle on being efficient and making right turns. They're just more efficient to make because you spend less time waiting. But yes, it does seem, and they offered.
Yeah, I'm sure for a price.
And then I think they finally also, took the help after things went awry last week and said, "Yeah, is the offer still on the table to come help us?"
I really I don't know. I don't know. I have lots of thoughts about it. But if I were a parent of a child that did not get home until 10 o'clock, I would be very upset.
If you recall, we think of UPS being a company of brown trucks that deliver great things to our door, and they do. But you'll remember they went through a season in the last 10 to 20 years where they were marketing themselves as a logistics company. Mm-hmm. You know, they were touting themselves and saying, we know logistics better than. So on high profile vehicles that have wheels that turn round and round and
that carry packages,
and that the driver on the bus says, "Move on back, move on back."
Move on back.
That's right. Speaking of schools, it's also the week where a lot of college freshmen are moving onto campuses in the early part of the week. We covered some of that yesterday. And then you'll see some of the upperclassmen who will be returning later in the week. So across the Commonwealth, whether it's at Western or UK or U of L, Murray already started classes. So their move in, I think their first day of actual classes were maybe yesterday.
Right.
So their move in was probably over the weekend. I saw Dr. Caboni actually, at least long enough for a photo op, and I'm not saying he might have been there all day. I don't know. I saw a photograph of Dr. Caboni, who was helping move, and then Capilouto. I saw him as well. So they're all out there moving people in. The who was the by the way, I don't know if Caboni is a doctor. No, he's a university president, but
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I'm giving
I'm sure he has a PhD.
That's what
he
I
might
was
not
gonna
be
say.
a medical doctor or a
He surely has a PhD.
WKU enrollment is up 9% from last fall. It's up 6.7% from 2017. And UK has 7,000 students moving into their residence halls now through the first half of the week. So,
and all of the freshmen get an iPad, I think is what I read.
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, I know one specific UK that got one new student, and so I think that they were handing them out. It may have been just to a select group, but I think that every freshman got one.
I noticed the SAG-AFTRA strike has faded into the background because of Maui and the Trump indictment dominating the national news cycle. But there's a big strike going on in Hollywood. Remember, you had the railroad strike that was going to be close, that was close to happening, that I think the federal government got involved in trying to broker a deal between them. Then also, if you recall, we were within days of UPS going on strike, and because we were like, hey, if those brown trucks stop running, things are going to happen. So they maneuvered that apparently, but now the UAW's contracts with GM and Ford are expiring on September the 14th, and one of the things. There are 146,000 members of the UAW, and they'll vote next week on whether to authorize their leaders to call strikes against the Detroit automakers, but Detroit is a loose term. Detroit might be where Ford is based, but obviously they have a big presence in Kentucky in multiple ways. But I thought it was only a matter of time. The UAW wants to get their hands on Blue Oval SK. So because of, their, and I think it's an interesting delineation. It's Blue Oval, so it is a Ford company, but has a big Korean involvement, which is not part of the United Auto Workers. So should the battery plants for vehicles be folded into the United Auto Workers? I don't know the answer to that, but it's an interesting consideration. I would say no, because the United Auto Workers are not involved in every company that makes a component for their
Right.
vehicles. Why should the batteries be any different?
Yeah, and I would imagine that that's the case. I would think, I'm like you, I would imagine that if I were working at the battery plant, I wouldn't be unionized. Or they may have their own union, but not with the auto workers.
They might eventually, but just keep an eye, because that might be the next round of strikes that you see, and you'll hear people say, well, Ford and GM aren't operating because they're on strike, but there seems to be a lot of this going around these days. Lexington's Bluegrass Airport will be offering nonstop service to 2 more destinations starting in the fall, one that will appeal to snowbirds wanting to head south. Beginning the end of September, they will offer nonstop service between Lexington and Denver via United Airlines, and then they will also do new nonstop seasonal flights to Miami via American Airlines. So it will be weekly service on Saturdays beginning in November. So they won't do it year round, and they won't do it every day. But if you want to hop a flight to Miami, and where it might be helpful is Miami is the gateway to the Caribbean too. So if you're trying to get, into the Caribbean or the Virgin Islands, or hop a cruise, or it might be convenient to go direct.
And Denver's a big hub too, for a lot of
Yes, it is. Yep.
of this, like Southwest and all of that. You can take direct there and then go south from there.
Yesterday we had a story about how the previous morning, apparently lightning struck a dump truck on Quarry Road.
Yeah, we wondered what
See
was
that?
going on. Of course, we didn't know at the
it
time.
happened about 20 minutes after 6, so probably right in the middle of things as you all were probably arriving, or probably still working that scene. But I thought it was remarkable how a lightning bolt can turn a dump truck on its side carrying 27 tons of rock of some kind. But was it the strike that got into the ditch and it made a top heavy and turn? I don't know the particulars. I'm not an accident reconstructionist, so I don't know. But it was an impressive photograph to see a dump truck lying on its side that supposedly happened as a result of a lightning strike. But in Pennsylvania, a section of Route 56 was closed after a cement truck crashed on the roadway near Windber and spilled cement all over the roadway. We see these trucks all the time.
Oh, that's a mess.
And you see them, cranking and turning.
they are.
And they're so
It's
top heavy.
always by our
You meet them in
office.
curves, and they're
and I
going around,
cannot
and you can
stand to
tell
meet them.
they're leaning because all that cement is going over there.
Drives me
Well, just
crazy.
imagine when one goes sideways and then spills its contents. And I don't know if you noticed, but cement likes to set up in a hurry.
Yeah, it does.
And as a matter of fact, that's sort of how it's designed. That's sort of the intended result that you want, unless it's in the middle of a highway that you're trying to keep smooth. So anyway, there you go. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Whitney Carmen is our guest co-host today. We got plenty more on the way, including day number 8 of Where's Quacky. Hang around here on In the Know.
Does the nagging pain of a sore knee, shoulder, or hip keep you from doing the things you love? Lose the pain and get back in the game with the help of Owensboro Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Located at Twin Lakes Medical Center, Dr. Isaac Miller and Dr. Ted Rogers are your local experts for hip, knee, and shoulder problems, from minor sprains to advanced procedures. Learn more and schedule online at owensborohealth.org/ortho.
Litchfield Tourism presents Gospel Music on East Main. Join Darren Whiteley and the Edwards family as they welcome the Troy Burns family.
I'm working on a building. I'm working on a building.
And the Will Band.
Name is victory. Once it was captivity.
Friday, August 18th at 7 p.m. on East Main Street in Litchfield. A free gospel concert sponsored by Litchfield Tourism featuring the Troy Burns family.
I'm going to a land.
And the Wilbanks, Friday, August 18th at 7 p.m. on East Main Street in Litchfield.
Litchfield Exterminating believes it's all in the name. Centricon is #1 in baiting treatments. Termador is #1 in liquid odorless treatments. Litchfield Exterminating is #1 in pest control. Coincidence? I don't think so. Litchfield Exterminating uses #1 products because that's what they do and how they do it. Litchfield Exterminating has served South Central Kentucky for over 30 years. Litchfield Exterminating, only a phone call away.
Call Litchfield Exterminating 259-6285.
At Holiday World and Splash and Safari, sometimes free takes a little convincing, especially with dads.
Free parking? That's how they get you.
They're just naturally suspicious of free stuff. Free soft drinks!
Whoa. That's how they get you.
But after a day of fun on the world's longest water coasters and our 400 drone light show, dads come around. At Holiday World, we get you. We're just not out to get you. That's why there's
free soft drinks, free parking, free sunscreen.
Get tickets at holidayworld.com.
Homeowners, especially on the lake, have most likely experienced or will experience water erosion on their properties. There is a solution and preventative measures that can protect against this type of erosion. With the help of products and service from Scotty's Contracting and Stone, Crushed Rock Road enhancements can provide erosion control and shoreline protection. Well-designed and maintained erosion control helps ensure that today's beautiful and safe landscapes remain so tomorrow. To discuss erosion control and shoreline restoration solutions with Scotty's Contracting, call 270-259-5696.
DQ presents... That's the sound of someone seeing the DQ $7 meal deal. And that's the sound of someone deciding if they want the original cheeseburger or 3-piece chicken strips with their $7 meal deal. And that's the sound of someone digging into their choice of original cheeseburger or 3-piece chicken strips, plus regular fries, a drink, and a sundae. Sounds pretty good, right? Grab the full-size $7 meal deal only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
One day after California regulators approved robo-taxis for around-the-clock service in San Francisco, things did not go well. Autonomous vehicles made by Cruise malfunctioned and blocked traffic in the city for more than 15 minutes. Last Thursday, state regulators approved the operation of driverless vehicles from General Motors-backed Cruise and competitor Alphabet-backed Waymo. A robot window washer is being used on skyscrapers in New York City. Lisa J. reports.
The machine called Osmo has a robotic arm with a brush attached and is suspended from the side of a high-rise building. It cleans the window by following instructions via a camera, and while it is controlled by a human sitting on top of a building, it could be operated fully remotely. Osmo is worth around $500,000 and is a 3 to 5 year payback for building owners.
And Apple expected to unveil a big upgrade to celebrate the 10th anniversary of its smartwatch. The new device, dubbed Watch X, will include a way for users to monitor their blood pressure. Tech Report, Mark Neese.
A Monday warrior, mean strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Today is Bratwurst Day. Today is True Love Forever Day, because apparently Valentine's Day is not enough. So you got to have another one in the month of August. Honey, I want to go ahead and tell you, I forgot True Love Forever Day today.
That's okay. I didn't know it existed. We're good.
I didn't know it existed until about 6:30 this morning. It is also Tell a Joke Day today. Some people can tell one and some people can't.
Yeah, I'm not good.
You know, there are, I will tell you, I was running through the guidelines on telling jokes, but I do remember there was some time in the last year, and I don't remember what it was, but you told me a joke and it was funny and it was out of character for you. I was like, she doesn't tell jokes.
I don't even remember now what it was.
Yeah.
Well, and so for me, if I'm funny, it's not intentional. Like you're gonna laugh at me because it's silly.
By the way, I was speaking about, I think I maybe was looking at Whitney, but you told me the joke.
Yeah.
You told me the joke, and I thought, as
Yeah,
many
look at her go.
many years as I've known you, I've never known you to actually throw a joke, like a setup and a punchline and everything. So
not really my jam.
it was good. But one, before you open your mouth, know your joke. Like don't start down the path and then go, okay, well, how did that joke go again?
Yeah,
And
you're
then
gonna lose me really quick if you do that.
It goes something like, and then know your audience. Not all jokes work for all audiences, clearly. Don't ask for permission to tell a joke because it's too late then. If you say, hey, can I tell you a joke? Don't, just tell it. And you got to read the room, know your audience, and tell it or don't. Don't ask for permission, and then it's too late. Do not, I tell you this joke, it's funny. It's so funny you're going to laugh. No, you've ramped up the pressure too much. You've set the bar way too high. There's got to be an ample setup. You got to lay it out just right in the proper order for the punchline to stick. You got to do that. Avoid detours. You know, because it reminds me of that. That reminded me of that one time that you did the streamline the joke, and then commit. Once you start, just deliver it, because then you get, I don't really remember how it ends. Because the next time you start on one person, you're going to go, this person can't tell a joke, so just don't even bother. Today is also day number 8 of Where's Quacky. I can tell you, yesterday, Quacky spent the day at, there's enough context here that you might have known this, but I don't think this is one that this could be several places.
I was going to say.
But I happen to know the timpani. Okay, the timpani percussion that Quacky is sitting on. You think, well, they probably have that at the high school and the middle school. But there is only one place in the system that I'm aware of that there's a hardwood floor stage in an auditorium, and you can see the orange out in the hallway. So I put it together and knew that was a Grayson County Middle School auditorium, but not everybody would necessarily know that based upon the context.
I was going to say, it looks like a stage, an auditorium, but I was going to guess the middle school or high school.
It's backstage. It's against the back wall of the auditorium, looking back up toward the entryway. And Carlene Weedman was drawn from all the correct entries. Carlene now has her very own duck in the Ducking Hunger Regatta, which will take place on Labor Day, where you could win $1,000. So congratulations, Carlene. Now here's day number 8 of Where's Quacky. On our Facebook page, you will find a bit of I guess it's a bit of a homecoming.
I was
going to
say, he's with his friends.
For Quacky today. out with his cousins.
I think I saw those ducks yesterday, actually.
And so where's Quacky? This photograph appears on our Facebook page. In that thread, comment where Quacky is, and maybe we'll be announcing you this time tomorrow as the latest winner of Where's Quacky. Don't forget, sponsor all those ducks. It is there's been no excuse for us not to be able to have every one of those ducks adopted, because you could win $1,000, and we adopt all the ducks. It turns into 80,000 meals for the Grayson County Alliance. 80,000. So that's a lot. I was furnished with a list this morning of phrases and words to avoid at work. I think it's sometimes helpful. Some of these I am definitely guilty of using, and I think maybe they once served their purpose, so it's a suggestion that they be retired. It's not that they didn't have value in being helpful, but maybe we've moved on. First one is the use of the word bandwidth. That's one I've used a lot, because I understand the bandwidth limitations of certain connections to things, and so sometimes you have a big pipe, sometimes you have a small pipe, you're trying to run too much data through a small pipe, etc., etc. So, but many use this word to refer to human capacities to take on a task, and some of your coworkers don't have the bandwidth to hear it again. So just maybe use something else, but I'm not sure what to replace it with. End user is another computer term. So we probably should call them clients or customers than end users. End user sounds like a very techie way of doing things. The word hack is we've completely changed the use of the word hack. A hack is you're hacking into something that you're really not at liberty to have permission to enter, but we're coming up with these life hacks or hacks of getting around something that is not so nefarious. Here's one that I hate, and I have never used it, and I don't think I've heard you use it, which is good, but the people that say, I did a thing. I did a thing. Okay.
Well, what did you do?
You did a thing. So how about I made this, or just to say, there's a preamble is not necessary. I did a thing. Okay, you bought a car.
Yeah.
Hey, I bought a new car.
I don't think I've ever used it, but it doesn't bother me.
I don't know.
I did this thing, or so I did a thing.
I don't know why it irks me.
But I don't use it.
I've not heard you use it, but But I just decided,
I'm like you. I've heard people use it. I maybe have used it, but I don't remember.
it's a waste of time. Just get to the point. Just tell me what you did. There's no reason like,
You're
hey,
building suspense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe guess what I did is even better. Guess what I did? And by the way, if you tell me guess what I did,
You're gonna guess.
and I guess, game's over. There's no guess again. Like you say, guess what I did, and I will play. I was like, okay, I'll play with you. I'll give you one guess.
Yeah.
But then it's no, that's not it. Guess again.
Ooh,
I don't do that.
I think I do to you. I'll give you three. I'll give you three choices. I'll give you three guesses.
That's right.
I
And
think
now,
I do that.
now that's part of the original negotiation. If you say, I
Right.
give you three guesses to guess what I did, then I will play with you on that. I go, okay, here are the three guesses. But if you set it up and say, guess, and I do, time to move on. There's not guess again. No, that's still not it. No, one more guess. Really do. That's not
Patience much?
I am much more patient than I was earlier in life. But I just think.
That is something I'm still working on.
All right, here's one that we both use.
Oh, good.
It is what it is.
Oh, I use that.
I'm sorry, but
at
it is.
least once a day.
The phrase is everywhere.
I mean,
And
how else can you word it?
well, I struggled with it because I thought, all right, somebody created this list, some of which I agree with, but this one I don't. It's just a way of saying there's really nothing you can do about it to change it.
Yep.
There's just not, like, it's just,
I mean, it's better than I don't care.
that's right. It's going to be, it's,
It is what it is.
and it's also better than fine.
Yeah.
It's just,
Too bad.
that's
Okay.
right.
I mean,
Influencer. Everybody's an
Yeah.
influencer. The word pivot is being used too much because we're pivoting all the time. Time to pivot.
there's a time and place for pivot.
That's right. There absolutely is. And it's really when you're carrying furniture.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's limited
exactly
to carrying
right.
furniture.
Up a chair or up a steps.
Yeah. Pivot. Pivot.
Take it offline.
Eh.
Thought leader. How
I've never heard that
How
one.
about just leader?
Somebody is a thought leader.
Yeah, thought leader. You're
So
gonna
is that not
lead
the
our
same
thought
as
process on this.
brainstorming?
Yes. Yeah, it's just a different. And then I think I even said, I don't know when it was, yesterday, day before, I think I did say blue sky thinking. Oh, it was in a meeting Monday night. I said like kind of a blue sky thinking type of thing. I thought, I don't think I like that phrase anymore. So,
I mean, that's your big pie in the sky thinking, or I mean, that's the same sort of.
and then here's one that we should also retire not because we're going to stop the situation, but people should have figured it out by now. You're muted.
Oh.
Like, I'd like to never hear "you're muted" ever again by someone. Now, no one has said that. Oh, you're muted, because I make sure and figure it out.
Yes.
You have those people in the online meetings, though? They're always muted. And they go to talk. I'm going to answer that question you asked me. It's like, wait a minute. Yes. Yes. Yes, she is.
Yeah.
The Strawberry Queen is your thought leader. Have you all ever been involved in a pay-it-forward chain?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You know, if you frequent drive-thrus often enough,
Which I don't.
then you are likely to eventually end up in some type of pay-it-forward. And it really is when it happens organically, it's pretty neat. I think it's a concept that's really just been around for the last decade or so.
I need to do that today.
I think people will, and I have done it before. I've not necessarily been participating in one, but I've just said, I want to do something kind for, and it's not always the car that's directly behind me. I have at times seen, somebody 2 or 3 cars deep, and I've kind of thought they could use a break today, or something. And I said, just take care of that while I'm doing this process. And I don't do it a lot. I don't mean that. But it also turns into these pay-it-forward scenarios where you just pay for the car behind you, and then they pay for the car behind them. Well, I was reading about one of these at a Taco Bell recently. And some cars got mixed up, and it caused a lot of confusion and hurt feelings, and then people were blaming one another, and you ruined it and all. So I don't know all of the particulars on it, but it did present me with this query. What's the limit? So if someone has paid it forward to you, expecting you to pay it forward to the car behind you, what if it's a clown car of 15 people that have ordered $100 worth of Mexi Melts, and you say, I need to pay for the order behind me, and they say it's $100. Well, I guess it's about 100.
Yeah.
Right? At one
they
point in
tax?
time, it would have been 100 Mexi Melts. So
Yeah, what do you do?
you don't do that, right? But then what if you know you're in a pay it forward, and then you're the one placing the order and you need to order it? Like, it's your job. You went to order food for all your coworkers. You can't scale down your order. You can scale down your order to just you so that it's fair to everybody who's paying it forward, or you go back to the office without the extra food. So where's the threshold? Where do you stop going, I'm not paying
And
that?
who wants to be the workers dealing with this? I mean, that's a mess. Oh, well, they can pay for just mine, and I'm going to do separate orders for my 13 coworkers.
I think it was cute and charming for a while,
Yeah,
but I think it can get, like everything in our society, it gets overdone.
That's
Right.
true.
If you want
And-
to do something
and that's-
nice, adopt a duck.
Well, or that's
Right?
actually
Yes,
very
very
good. Very good. Also, if you're gonna do it, I don't know. I'm not necessarily one that's gonna pay for food in the checkout line, or in the whatever drive-through. Thank you.
Can I pay it forward in the curbside?
Well, I've started to do.
Just
using
throw a five
curbside.
in their window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would rather do something different for somebody and make it not to. I try not to even tell anybody if I'm doing it. You
Well,
know?
and it's what is
That's not the point.
Yes, exactly. I can't think. There's a word, but if you tell about it, it's just
ruins it.
Yeah, it ruins it. Well, this
you're
story,
braggadocious.
I thought it was neat that these two stories were close to one another, because now a study says certain self-driving cars actually cause more road congestion than people driving cars. That's been one of the things, like, oh, well, it makes traffic move smoother because of self-driving cars. So, but considering the pay it forward thing we just talked about, will we eventually get to a point where all the AI self-driving cars that are picking up our DoorDash orders at McDonald's will then send us a notice and say, do you want to pay it forward to the self-driving car behind us for the Jones family across town that also ordered food from McDonald's?
Well, that and they can't figure out how to make buses work. So why would we trust them to drive cars?
I'm eating.
Make the buses work, and then we'll talk about
Yeah.
it. All right. We got to get to a break. Your chance to win with the water cooler question. Coming up, you're on In the Know.
Living in your ideal home, or is it still a dream? Future Designs Building Materials can help you turn your dreams into reality with atrium windows that will make the sun look brighter, roofing material that will keep your home protected year-round, and decking material for that perfect barbecue setting. Now is the perfect time to get your home improvement project off the ground. Got questions? Future Designs Building Materials can help with all your lumber and home improvement questions. Visit Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield or fdbm.net.
When caring for a family member, their state of health is continually on your mind. And when they're faced with a health concern, you'll do just about anything to make them feel better. Rest assured, their feel better starts right here at Midway Pharmacy. We take our time to get to know all about your family's health history so we can provide you with educated advice. So when someone's counting on you to help them maintain a healthy lifestyle or to overcome that untimely sickness, remember, at Midway Pharmacy.
The Kentucky Department for Community-Based Services is hiring. DCBS invites you to be part of an inclusive team of caring professionals that helps all Kentucky families through a rewarding career in family support or social services. They have job openings in their county offices across the state and offer great benefits like hybrid work schedule, competitive salary, paid holidays, and many opportunities for training and promotions, plus state employee discounts. Go online to chfs.ky.gov and enter DCBS jobs in the search field. It's a new day at DCBS. Join them, an equal opportunity employer, MFD.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your your family's health insurance, it's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather.
Sunny today with highs near 80 degrees for tomorrow, jumping into the low to mid 80s for highs and keeping that sunshine around. Friday, a touch cooler, back down into the low 80s for highs, courtesy of a cold front moving through Thursday night into early Friday morning. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
In the air, the wind is taking you everywhere. Yeah. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? All the colors of the world should be left in each other.
Did you know your funny bone is actually a nerve?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not to say, oh, you don't have a funny bone. Well, I got something in there that when you hit it just right. And
It hurts.
by the way, I've not a single time laughed.
Me either.
I've been keeping track. Not one single time have I hit my funny bone. and
I
ever-
have said some
and
not
ever-
so nice things,
and
but
ever
I
laughed.
have.
That's right. I might have made someone else laugh, but I certainly did not laugh. A couple of things. Yesterday we talked about bunk beds. Before I get to the water cooler question, we were having a conversation about moving into Western and the option to do bunk beds in your dorm room. And I asked the question. It was an impromptu point to ponder: is what is the age limit for a man on bunk beds?
Good question.
And so, and I still don't know that we're clear on the answer, but I do see the story today that the Little League World Series has banned bunk beds
Well, of course.
because of injuries.
Well, the kid last year was in like ICU. He fell off about this time.
So I would say if they're not good enough for the World Series, they're probably not good enough for college kids. But really, after thinking about it for 24 hours, the movie Step Brothers tells us everything we need to know about bunk beds and why they're not acceptable for people. I don't care if you act like a child, but if you're the size of an adult, I think bunk beds should be off the table.
I agree. And if you are if you don't have an option and you're staying in a dorm, well, you know, I think under like 4-H camp, church camps that have dorms, and if you're an adult as a leader staying with, you know, with that group, you should probably take a bottom bunk.
Well, yes, I agree with that. But I have seen, when we were in Guatemala, you know, I've seen many men on bunk beds because we had no other options but to stay at the Complejos.
Well,
So-
that's a different situation.
I'm going to put an asterisk by that.
Yeah.
I'm going to put an asterisk on my rule. Grown people should not sleep on a talk bunk, and men in particular. And then I'll put unless in a third world country.
Yes,
Can I
because
just
that may
do
be
that?
your only
because
option.
I can still see the one, he was so long-legged or tall or whatever that his feet, and he was on the top bunk, his feet were like on the end of it, like not quite hanging over, but propped up on the end.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you
sorry.
Could hang Christmas stockings from there.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I got
you
it.
could.
MB, let's see. Here's today's water cooler question. If you're not won in the last 30 days and you're 18 years of age or older, you or your household, you qualify to win by texting your answer to 270-259-6000. Give you your choice of the tickets that we have remaining, which I think is all of them. But we'll give you your choice if you can be successful in winning. And it says that about half of new relationships begin this way. About half of new relationships begin this way. Text your answer to 270-259-6000. 270-259-6000. Okay. I think the answer might be fairly easy, but I would tell you it's a pretty specific answer. You know, it's not a broad answer. It's pretty specific. So give that some consideration when you send your answer. Twitter is debating. We spent quite a bit of time yesterday in this segment talking about the Blind Side issue and my sadness over. I just love the movie from 2009, The Blind Side, and it's one of those, as I mentioned yesterday, if it's on TNT on a Saturday afternoon and you're just flipping through, it's one that I'll land on because, one, it's a great story. So I'm sad to hear of the developing rift between Michael Oher and the Tuohys. But of course, Twitter doing what Twitter does. The debate within yesterday was if Sandra Bullock should lose the Blind Side Oscar over the Michael Oher drama. Absolutely not. This doesn't have anything. No. Listen, there are plenty of untrue stories that are made in Hollywood, and I'm not saying this one's untrue. There are plenty of fake stories in Hollywood. It's not the actor's fault. It's not the people that made the movie's fault. So, no, and there are more important things to argue on Twitter than Sandra Bullock and her Oscar. Leave Sandra Bullock and Tim McGraw alone.
I know. They were just playing.
That's right. They were just doing the script that they were provided with. It was a nice run for Harry Styles and his As It Was. It had an amazing chart run last week. It was 15 weeks at number 1. But move over, Harry Styles. Morgan Wallen is here. Morgan Wallen officially has the biggest solo song ever in terms of weeks at number 1 on the Hot 100, 16 weeks. And obviously this is an old photo because he is
cut all his hair
he
off.
is mullet no more.
Every tween in my family is just distraught
That's what I was wondering too about if Jack's baseball team were all going to have to shave their mullets off.
Jackson has never had a mullet.
But does he have teammates that do?
Aren't you proud?
Yes.
Aren't you proud, Mama?
Now it's the poof. It's not.
I would
it's
much
not
rather the poof than a mullet.
It's the short around the sides and the poof and
Would
the
you
curly
rather?
poof at
Would
the
you
top.
rather Patrick Mahomes or Morgan Wallen?
That's
yes, that kind of
Mahomes.
what the poof
yeah,
is.
that's exactly what it is.
I got it. Jessica Chastain wants a sequel with Octavia Spencer to The Help.
Oh.
Speaking of great movies, The Help is a great movie, and that would be fun to see. Get Octavia Spencer and Jessica Chastain together. I'd kind of forgotten Jessica Chastain was in that movie. But we talk about those actors that blend in so well that they just become the character, and you don't look at it and go, "Hey, that's Tom Hanks playing a character." The actor just does what they need to do. And then Adele sobbed on stage after helping with a couple's gender reveal, and then she, had some encouragement for the parents and that. So I guess Adele's stopping in the middle of her shows now and doing things with the fans, interactive type things. So she does that. She did that in her big concert at the LA Conservatory and other good things. So there you go. All right, the water cooler question. About half of new relationships start this way. So we'll continue to field your answers on that. And we'll have the point to ponder, the pearl of wisdom, the chart toppers, and more coming up here on In the Know.
To win in the game of life, it doesn't matter how long you're in the lead, you have to finish well. The last day of the 2023 ACC Indoor Track and Field Championships featured an unusual outcome in the women's 400-meter relay. Duke University held the lead from the start. They were fast, and their baton handoffs were smooth and on point. In the final stretch, the University of Miami nearly pulled in front, but the Duke runner pushed herself harder and won the race by just 0.2 of a second. But then, chaos. Immediately after the race was over, officials announced that there was a problem. After review, it was determined that the runner for Duke had inadvertently bumped her opponent's arm and dropped her baton just 2 feet from the finish line. Despite holding the lead for the entire race, Duke was disqualified for crossing the finish line without the baton in hand. We don't run a race to get to the middle, but rather to get to the end. The same holds true for building a career, nurturing a marriage, or striving to be a good parent. None of us gets from where we are to where we hope to be without overcoming a few challenges along the way. To finish strong, we need dedication, skill, and hard work. But we also need the ability to stay focused until the job is done. It's not enough to run fast and hold the lead throughout the race. You want to finish well. For more to help you thrive, go to FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Metashare. Maybe you've heard switching to Metashare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate
for Medishare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medishare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 866-88-BIBLE. That's 866-88-BIBLE. 866-88-BIBLE.
Hey, it's Shannon the Dude. Summertime is finally here, and as traffic increases, the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety reminds all road users to pay attention and watch out for each other. Following the rules of the road and these simple steps can help save lives. So remember to buckle up every trip, every time. Put the phone down if you're driving, walking, or riding a bike or motorcycle. And safety is a shared responsibility. So enjoy your summer and be safe, Kentucky. A message from the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. I read something earlier and it kind of made me ponder. It was, people spend a whole lot of time attempting to smell good just to be freaked out when someone tells you you smell good. And it made me wonder, like, you know, I occasionally do hear that. Like somebody will go, "Ooh, you smell good." I go, "I don't know if I like that or not."
Yeah.
But it was the intent. I'm not going for smelling good. I'm going for just being neutral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, just make sure that I'm clean so that I don't.
I'm trying to counterweight a potential bad smell. I'm not trying to be over here on the other side smelling all like begonias or something.
Until Misty, I always wanted to smell good, and it certainly didn't bother me if someone said, "Oh, you smell good." But since Misty, I rarely, if ever, put on anything other than deodorant.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm wondering is that, but do you, have you ever run into a person, though, that if you say they smell good, they are kind of weird about it? It's like, "Ugh,
I wish
creepy."
some teenage or tween boys would make sure that they thought that they smelled good.
Yeah, they're not counterweighting enough.
They're not counterweighting enough. No.
But now a whole bottle of Axe doesn't necessarily
That's the other thing.
work either. Again, we tend to take things to extremes in our country. The water cooler question was, about half of new relationships start this way. Sliding into someone's DMs is the correct answer. That's how our relationship began.
Oh, I put swipe right.
14 and a half years ago.
That is true.
Yeah. So, but just with a simple message. So what did you put?
I just put online dating apps.
Yeah. It's what I figured the answer was going to be online, and that's really now 14 and a half years ago it wasn't that common, but I think it is pretty common in the year 2023. What did you put, huh?
I put work, but then you said it had to be specific, so I thought, hospital.
Yeah.
Or
Speaking of, Facebook has announced their plans to drop SMS support in Messenger starting September the 28th, and it kind of made me chuckle. If you remember in the very beginning, when you would get an inbox on Facebook, it would come to your phone as an SMS. That was an option.
I never had that option, but
and then it was email. You got one sent everything to your Facebook inbox came to your email, and then when Facebook just took off, the volume was so much, it was like, oh, I don't want all this coming to my email, or I don't want all this coming in. But the evolution of that platform has been interesting, to the fact that they're going, we're not doing SMS anymore, which begs the question, who's still using SMS?
I was going to say, I have the app on my phone that when they send me a message in Facebook Messenger, it goes to my Messenger app.
I also saw this, because I got to get moving. We have to quit earlier now. A new survey says saying hello to neighbors could boost your well-being. Honey, we have a neighbor that is maybe unwell, don't we? Do you have those neighbors, though, that they don't want to say hello to you, but they almost have to? You know how they like, I'm just going about my business.
Yeah, they have to when you have such a friendly wife that refuses. Like, if you look straight ahead and avoid me, Or put your
You're gonna
head
go.
down and walk a little bit faster. I'm going to go out of my way to
Yeah.
make you say hello to me.
Yeah.
Because it tickles me to death.
It depends on my mood, what I'm doing, whether I'm going to be extra friendly or just going
Even
about
if
my way.
I'm in a saucy mood or a cruddy mood, it gives me joy to make those people speak to me.
You're going to say hello to me?
Yeah, you
On
are.
ABC tonight, the season 2 finale of The Wonder Years on CBS Superfan. That explains why Shania Twain was on TV yesterday morning. It's they did LL Cool J last week, so tonight is Shania Twain on Superfan. Gordon Ramsay's Food Stars on Fox and the Battle of the Decades on the Food Network. That's what you can see on your
I
television
won't
tonight.
be watching any of that.
Elvis died this date in 1977. That's today's
Saw
highlight
that.
in history. 46 years ago today. In 1812, Detroit fell to British and Native American forces in the War of 1812. Babe Ruth died this date in 1948, only at age 53. I didn't realize Babe Ruth died that early. Aretha Franklin died 5 years ago today.
Wow.
Birthdays. Leslie Ann Warren is 77. Kathy Lee Gifford is 70. James Cameron is 69. Laura Ennis is 69. Angela Bassett is 65. Steve Carell is 61. I still tell you my favorite Steve Carell line of all time is in the 40-Year-Old Virgin when they rip the wax off and he screams, "Oh, Kelly Clarkson!" And because it's just so out of like, who would scream Kelly Clarkson at that in pain, you know?
Yeah.
I would scream a lot of things, but I don't think it would be Kelly Clarkson. Emily Strayer from the Dixie Chicks is 51 today, and Rumor Willis is 35. I saw another list today that said Rumor Willis is from Paducah, Kentucky. Does anyone know? Does Rumor Willis actually, she's married, I think. Did she move to Paducah? I would have thought I would have known that before today to count her among our celebrity. We got Rumor Willis and Katy Perry. Goodness gracious. Menachem Begin was born this date in 1913. Fess Parker in 1924. Edie Gourmet in 1928. Frank Gifford in 1930. Chart toppers. Let's go to 1946. And the Ink Spots were number one. Somebody break my chart topper.
In a quaint caravan, there's a lady they call the Gypsy.
I think I've heard enough.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't. That's all the way back to 1946. All right, let's try to move forward to the mid-1950s. In this day, 1955, Mitch Miller was number one with The Yellow Rose of Texas. Webb Pierce was number one with I Don't Care. Bill Haley and his Comets were number one with Rock Around the Clock, but also from the same, went on to be on the American Graffiti album soundtrack. Ain't That a Shame by Fats Domino was number one. Thank you, Fats. Let's go to 1964. The Four Seasons were number one with Ragdoll. All right, Wings, Live and Let Die was number one in 73. Abracadabra, Steve Miller Band in 82. Bryan Adams, Everything I Do in 91. Matchbox 20, Bent in 2000. Knock You Down, Carrie Hilson in 09. And Cardi B, I Like It, number one in 18. Sorry, MB's.
All right.
I'll play it for you after the show.
Okay. All right.
MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Whitney, thanks for coming.
I'm glad to be
I know
here.
you're going to be gone next week, so maybe we'll see you. Is next week you're
Yeah,
going to be gone?
I'll be at State Fair.
I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Say hi to Freddie Farm Bureau for
I will.
me. I know he asks about me every year. And also, since Misty stopped going to the State Fair, we don't get a swag bag anymore, so bring us a swag bag.
If I'm able to make it there, I will.
Okay, thank
be
you.
Great.
MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. I only got time to do it once. MB's Pearl of Wisdom. It is not what you do for your children, but what you have taught them to do for themselves that will make them successful human beings. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Whitney Carmen, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin